Hello guys, welcome to Mark's Shrimp Tanks. It is the 1st of May, right? So we're going to do a room tour. By the way, you'll have to excuse me for coughing and stuff every so often. I have quite a sore throat today for some reason. It's quite dry, so it's not COVID because we have tested for it. So bear that in mind when we're doing the video. I'm going to try and not cut this so much. So yeah, let's get on and have a look at the shrimp. Alright guys, we are going to start somewhere in the middle here. I've not fed the tanks because I think it's important that you guys see what my shrimp are like naturally, so you get an idea of what your shrimp should be like naturally as well. And we can discuss why and whatnots and all this kind of stuff as we go along. Alright, my awesome saw shrimp farm. Let's start away over here somewhere today. Let me see. Let's have a look at this tank. You guys haven't seen this since I fixed it. I didn't think it was worth making a video of me removing the algae in this tank, but yeah guys, you can probably see that there's been a massive difference. All I did was I removed masses and masses of string algae by hand, and yeah, I've been keeping up with the water changes. The Salvinia was going berserk on the top, and yeah, it is looking much better. I've got some sunset high grow on the sides, some crypts here, and a little bit, what's this one called? Rotala. Oh, see, I'm getting good with the names. But yeah, this one is, the lights are on for probably about 6 hours a day. You can see the shrimp coming out of the water there, and yeah, it's looking much better. The reason guys I have it with so much Salvinia right now is because I want this where it is in quite a lot of darkness, because we still have a lot of string algae here, and I want the plants to kind of take over a bit more before this algae starts to develop too much. So this is the plan. Look at the shrimp that's coming right out of the water there. You see it dead center. Yeah, let's go on to the big rack here, and this is probably where you will notice the biggest difference in my shrimp room, because guys, I don't think I have a single tank now that is needing done. They're all doing great. Some of them are just, I don't know what it is. Like this one for example, dead center here. The plants are growing like crazy since we added a few cupfuls of ADA Amazonia 2 into them. Let's have a little look. Let's start with the top one. The plants in this are going crazy as well. We have lots of babies. I fed this tank yesterday, the guys. This is why I'm not feeding them today, is because I don't like feeding them just for the camera. I'd rather we fed them just naturally so you guys can see. One of the things you'll see in my tanks up here is a big banana leaf. Let me just pull this so you can see it. The size of this mother. So I got these fresh, and I got a big giant pack of them, and then I dried them over here guys. See them? Big pack of dried banana leaves. You get these from stores where you will get things like, what are they called? Like grocery stores that do Asian stuff. You get big packs of banana leaves. My wife got these, so I can't tell you where she got them from, but there you go. Right, shrimp love banana leaves. As they decompose, there's like quite a lot of nutrients come off them. And if I remember correctly guys, it used to be a way of getting infusionia was with banana skin, so it's the same kind of idea, right? How are the shrimp doing in this tank? They're doing great. Bedded females, baby shrimp all over the place. Plants are doing awesome. The tanks are really getting a lot of life in the glass as well, which is awesome. My moss is starting to grow, which is awesome. You can see on my filters as well, they're starting to go green. So yeah, just adding some ADA Amazonia to the tanks has helped to leach some nutrients in the water for our plants to grow, and I'm seeing the plus side of it with our shrimp. As you can see here, they're just doing really well. Look at the Salvinia. Right, so most of my tanks I start off with just like 1 or 2 sprigs of Salvinia, and then it's grown like that. But this isn't the most. Let's have a look down here. This tank is probably going to be needing me to pull the Salvinia. Some of it, look at it on the top, it's grown so much. There's just a little hole in the center here for the bubbler. Shrimp are doing awesome. I fed these guys yesterday. The tank is looking a little bit dark guys because of all this plant material. More plants, nutrient rich water, more shrimp. Makes sense. Even my algae in here, not my algae, my moss in here is even growing as well, which is cool. Very, very dark. I know it is dark, but yeah. Let me see if I can get my body in the way. So this was my galaxy tank, lots of crypts. Look how good that saltwater tank is starting to grow. So it does like to have some fertilizer in the water as well. Yeah, I still haven't taken these guys out of here because these are going into the mixed tank and this is going to be something else. I did some Java moss tying onto a piece of wood. I'm going to try and quickly get off this rack, guys, just because the glare is so bad. Next time I'll have to remember and turn these lights off for our tub over here because I can see that it's bad. Red King Kongs doing okay. I just noticed there some of them are pandas, wine reds, pandas. So we'll have to do some. Oh, actually, I noticed most of them are pandas. What happened to our Red King Kongs? Again, this tank is doing good. Look at the growth of the biofilm on the sides. These guys are doing really good. I think we have buried females in here again. So this had this multiple death syndrome thingamajig. It's had it multiple times, guys. And with it, right, all you have to do is stop feeding the tank, and it is trust me, it is so hard to do. It's so hard to do because I'm going to show you a tank where I've had this same thing and I've thought the tank had recovered and yeah, the shrimp hadn't recovered, and I've tried to feed the tank again, then you just get issues. So I'm not sure how much of that is down to the pH in the soil. We've been over and over this and over it, where the pH is, you know, it just gets too high, and then you're overfeeding the tank, and whatever's going off in the tank is affecting the shrimp. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Tangerine Tiger tank, it had a major overhaul, new gravel on the bottom. I'm taking it easy with this tank. There's a lot of shrimp in it, but yeah, I'm not force feeding it. I'm waiting until we get a lot of life and biofilm and stuff in here. I'm not seeing it yet, but there's a lot of plant matter. ADA Amazonia V2, this is the latest tank. Nothing in it, it's a little bit moss. I don't think I made a video on this, guys. I'm not going to repeat videos because I think they get a little bit boring for you guys, but you can see it's an Asian style filter with an under gravel plate. A little bit moss in the middle, a bit of banana leaf there, a little bit of cholla wood. There's probably about 5 litres of ADA Amazonia in here, so this will be lovely jubbly. This is the Fluval stratum, blue pandas, shadow pandas I would say, because they're the shadow pandas, guys, in case you didn't know, are the ones that are blue. If you have the ones that are white, they're just normal pandas, but these are blue ones, so they're shadow pandas. Yeah, this tank is doing quite good. In the beginning, when I moved all the shrimp from this tank to this tank because this one had a leak, I did have a couple of deaths, but I've not had any deaths in here for a long time. So it has recovered quite well. Look at the Poseidons in the middle, isn't it gorgeous? Again, Salvinia. A couple of filters. I have a double sponge and the Asian style filter there. I'm trying to grow some plants immersed. Like this, look at this, and yeah, it's actually starting to work. I can see that the plants always drop their leaves, their crappy leaves, and then they grow like really nice looking leaves like this. So this tub's been set up for about, I don't know, about 2 months. I don't think you guys would have seen it the last time. All I have to do with this is remember and spray it with water every so often. Blue Dream tub, looking good. Yeah, the plants are doing awesome in here. I'm not seeing any baby shrimp yet, but we did see 1 or 2 the last time, so that was a little bit odd. I do see the adults here, like I can see them all over the place, but I'm not seeing much biofilm. We talked about this the last time, much algae biofilm and whatnot, right? So I added this light here, so there's much more light. I'm also feeding this tank the powdered foods every so often, just to make sure that we start to get some life and activity on the sides for the baby shrimp to munch on. There's a Philandra doing quite good in here. It was starting to go yellow because of the lack of light, but now it's starting to go green again. Look at this, isn't this cool? So there you have it. Let's go on to the biggest tank in my room. Mixed B-tank. These guys haven't been fed, but it's always nice to show you them in their natural, I don't know, their natural environment with their natural activities. So this is how active your tank should be, guys. And the only thing that's missing from this is babies. There's not that many babies in here, but there is a lot of bird girls in here, so yeah, we should have a baby boom soon. Lots of Bucephalandra. You can see how well the plants are growing in the back. Everywhere the plants are just doing great. Quite a few of you have noticed that I'm actually I'm taking my time with my plants and putting a little bit more effort into them. Just because I think you can, guys. You can have a nice planted tank, and you can have a lot of nice bee shrimp as well. Let's see. Just going to go over this slowly. Some apple wood there in the back with some trident java fern. Remember we were talking about the big banana leaves. Switching oxidator. Someone in the comments will say, Mark, what is that glass thing? Lots of shrimp. I'm saying trident java fern, guys. Let me know in the comment section, is this actually trident java fern? Because I think I saw someone say it was a different name before. Peace lilies, got to love them, just have to remember to water them. I'm going to show you the plants up here. I don't know what this is called, but I saw it in the store and I thought it was kind of gorgeous. It almost looks like it's a fake plant, but it's not. Nepenthes growing awesome. Nepenthes cutting. The reason I've got a bag on it is because when you do cuttings, they tend to lose a lot of their moisture really, really fast through the leaves, and when they don't have roots, they tend to dry out and die, right? So you must put a bag over them to keep that humidity in there, and you basically need to keep them in something like this for a couple of months until the roots form properly. I'm not sure what this plant is either, but I thought it was cool, so I got it. Another Nepenthes with this big jug. Let's drop down to our crystal tank. These guys are doing okay. Every tank, guys, in my room is doing better since I did this thing with the soil. Switching oxidator. Moss is growing really nicely in my tanks now. Thank you to ADA Amazonia. Yeah, there's not much at the front here. Shrimp like to hide in the plants, you see. Switching oxidator in the middle. Walnut leaf. I'm just saying random stuff so you can identify things in the tank. Lots of wasser tang. This was the tank I was talking about, guys, before with the red marker for the multiple death syndrome thing that we have. Remember, we had it over here. I've had it up there that I've recovered. I seem to have had it in most of my tanks, and it always follows the same pattern where you get lots and lots of breeding. I'm not 100% sure if it is just entirely the 100, you know, like, I don't think it's a breeding thing. I think what's happening, guys, it's the soil. You lose the pH in your soil, right? So you start off with tons of breeding because the soil is nice and fertile. And as the soil loses all its nutrients and pH lowering properties, you get less breeding. And then it gets to the point, guys, where you're still feeding the tank the same. And because the pH is rising, the ammonia and nitrates and stuff become more toxic again, and then you start to get a lot of deaths. Right, so I've had this in most of my tanks at one point or another. Like this one was bad for it for a long time until we started to do this thing with the soil, put the soil back in and lower the pH, the water with our RO water. I was still getting it in this tank. I've not had a dead shrimp in here for God knows how long. You can see how active the shrimp are, right? So this, what we're doing now, is working. These guys, I put the soil in, but when I put the soil in, they were active, and I thought, yeah, let's give them more food, and kind of overfeeding the tank a little bit. And yeah, I had a die-off again, but they're not all dead, which is good, because yeah, we can recover from this. Look at the hornwort, how much it's grown because of this fertilization in the water. These guys are actually starting to get big enough now to start breeding, which is good. I'm seeing a couple that have saddles, which is what we want. Looking good. Oh, my back is snapping. I recently did this one over, and yeah, it is looking much better. all the shrimp are out the front. This girl is buried, the big female, and she's just having babies after babies. You can see some of them on the filter here. And it's funny with the babies, guys, because the babies under her belly are so big that they're actually clinging to her before they're released. It looks like she's just covered in like insects or something. Yeah, so you'll see like little cray-crays and little crevices all over the place. And guys, one of the things I mentioned to you before was I wondered if you know, like one of the shrimp, I don't see it now, one of the crayfish, it had a red claw right on one side and it had a bluish claw on the other side, and I wondered if you could get hermaphrodite type crayfish in your tanks, right? And you know what it was? You know what it probably was? I think the crayfish was a male and it lost a claw and it grew back, and it's just not red yet. Of course, this one is the girl. Aren't they cool? So on the filters it's just a mixture of baby crayfish and cherry shrimp. Marissa snails, lots and lots of bricks and hiding places because these guys will eat each other. But it's cool when you see them like this size. And you must provide these hidey holes for them because when they molt, yeah, they will eat each other. Let's go up to the Calcio tank and our geranium. I love this tank, guys. I love that the Sunset High Grow is finally starting to grow properly and it's starting to go red in the tips. So what we did was we removed the filter. I'm giving this one a 50% water change and I'm topping it back up with Neocaridina parameters for the water source. Right, and yeah, all I have on the top is some salvinia. And it's looking really cool. It's looking cool. This is what I wanted it to look like. So some of the leaves in it look a little bit eaten. But yeah, this is good enough. It is good enough. What tends to happen with this, guys, as well is I have noticed that it will get like a bacterial bloom and then it will disappear again. But I can see, you guys probably can see as well, just looking at the water, looking through the water, you can see how much it's full of life, all the little beasties and stuff moving around. Good job, Mark. Big blue dream cull. Let's have a little look at the calcio tank. It needs topped up actually, a little bit. I was looking at the babies in the corner here today. Guys, I'm not really sure you guys are going to be able to see them, but they're on the filter. There's quite a lot of babies. So that is good. Calcio. The tank is like one of the ones I'm starting to really enjoy. Because it just looks so nice. The planting's not fantastic, but for me, guys, you know what it's like. I've never been much of a planted tank kind of guy, but it is starting to look really nice. Especially this Rotala. I can't believe I've never grown it like this before. So the plan is for this whole corner just to be Rotala. And once it's grown up to the surface, I'll cut it down, replant it at the back here so it fills in a little bit. I just love the way it looks and how it goes red on the ends. Big bit of salvinia. This is ADA Amazonia V2. Well, it is at the back. It is ADA Amazonia powdered at the front. I would not recommend this as a planted tank substrate because it compacts too much. It literally will go hard under the surface. Soaching oxidator and double sponges, and that is it for this tank. Saltwater tank in the corner. I'm not sure I mentioned it, guys, but my soft water tanks get a 10% water change once a week with pure RO and salt and mineral GHKH+, and I make sure my water is softened. That leads us on to the next part. Someone asked me to do a video on this. I will, but I'm going to wait until this canister of peat is done before I change it out, and then I'll make a video on it, guys. I'll show you how I do it, because we have about a litre of peat in here, peat granules, and it goes up to my reverse osmosis container up here that has my soft water. That's my hard water. On the other side is quite clear which is which here. I let this water run through all this water probably for a day or two before I use it, when it's brand new, when you first put the stuff in here, obviously the pH will drop much faster, right? So what will happen, guys, is like over the course of a month or two, this will get weaker and it will get weaker and weaker. It's like if you have like a tea bag as an example, and you want to reuse the tea bag. You know how it's not as strong the second or third or fourth time. Not that I've ever done that, guys. I'm just like an example if you wanted to use a tea bag over and over. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with peat right in this canister, and it will last for a while. Once it's done, it will be going in the compost, and then we'll put another litre in. Links are in the description, guys, if you want to buy the same type of peat as well. It's in the shop description. The shop. Let's have a little look at the orange eye blue tigers. These guys are doing fantastic. They're really active, and in this tank we have probably 4 buried females or something already. Considering these have only been in here for about a month, I think that is fantastic as well. They are mega active. You can see how they are all over the place in the tank. The Val, by the way, I've noticed if I give these guys a half dose of Secum Flourish, let me just show you, Secum Flourish, half dose. I don't want to do full doses of ferts in my tank, so I thought I'd do in the ones that need it, stuff that doesn't have an active soil as an example. Half dose of Secum Flourish in this tank, and you can see how green the Val is starting to grow now. Right, so all these straggly bits will all fall off, the Val will grow more. I still have some string algae, but eventually this Val will hit the surface, and the shrimp are doing really good. Really good. This is a 30% water change tank once a week with salt and mineral KH plus, and that's just pure RO and the mineral, nothing else added. There's no peat or nothing, because you want to keep the pH up. My voice is starting to go a little bit. Alright, let's have a little look at the Opae Ula. They just happen to be going berserk as we look. I love looking at this tank, guys. Let me see. You can probably see why. If I had to estimate, there's probably maybe 300, 400, 500 shrimp in this tank now. So big thank you to Tater Salad that kindly donated me probably 100 plus Opae Ula more than a year ago or something like that. Yeah, and they're just doing awesome. There's no food in this tank, so I would imagine that it's just a girl has molted. And one thing I did notice last week, guys, was a lot of these shrimp were not red. And I thought, is that a water quality issue? So I just put a little cheeky bag of Purigen up here in the corner, just where the filter is flowing into it. The water basically lands in the Purigen, right? So yeah, if there's anything in there that needs to come out, it will come out. I like Purigen. I like the way how it's easy to recharge and whatever else. Yeah, this tank never gets a water change ever. I was going to say the gravity, I can't remember what it is. 1.012, because I checked it the other day just to make sure. I'm actually surprised, guys, that I've not had to ever like refill the salt that comes in here, because there is a lot of condensation, evaporation, and then you would think that eventually I would need to resupply stuff. I actually added some more lights to this today. Hopefully the camera's fine. Looking at 2 more grow light type lights, because I want this Chio macroalgae to do a little bit better. It's really stringy. If you look at it, it actually looks more like a string algae than the Chio macroalgae, because it's so thin and spindly, a little bit yellow in the middle. You see it? So I don't know if this is a fair issue or it's probably the water is just too clean for this to really thrive. But hey, it is what it is. I don't want to keep on, I'm not want to add in ferts and whatever else to this tank. So this is just what it is. The macroalgae will have to survive off of whatever it is that I put in the tank for the shrimp to eat. Look how red this one is here. Looking good. Alright, let's go down to the buttocks. The buttocks of the tank. This tank is really green, isn't it? Green jade tank. It's still never properly taken off. And I remember the last time I talked to you guys, I talked about removing this wood to see if it's maybe it's softening the water. I actually forgot to do that, I'll have to remember. We do have babies in here. There's probably about 40 adults. Walnut leaves, lots of val, as you can see. Water change once a week, 30%. The tank next to it also gets 30%. Blue Dream tank, shrimp are all over the place in this tank. Forever taking out the string algae. But at least the moss is growing, so it's I probably need to just keep on removing the string algae and the moss will eventually take over. Loads of shrimp in here. They're just everywhere. Everywhere. Right, so this tank gets a 30% water change. Big banana leaf there. Ram's horn snails love to eat this kind of stuff. By the way guys, I do notice that in tanks where I have snails, the Neos definitely do better. So they definitely eat the poop and whatever else comes at the digestive system of snails, and you just, I don't know, the baby shrimp are exploding because of it. Let's go on to our super crystal reds. This tank is a little bit green. I added 1 cup of ADA Amazonia to this tank, just a little bit because this filter kind of tipped a little bit, remember when we set it up, and yeah, I wanted to fill it up a little bit, so I put some more ADA V2 in, and yeah, it's made the glass go green. You see it? But the glass is actually covered in life. I was watching this tank yesterday. You could probably see a girl here. Here. She's buried. So there's quite a few buried girls in here, so there's going to be a baby boom again. Right, switch up. Guys, what I'm always wondering with this tank is, why is my trident Java fern, why does it never do any good in this tank? It's bizarre. Yet the Bucephalandra does awesome. Blue Dreams, I always say this, don't I? Blue boats. The water's looking crystal clear. Lots and lots of life on the sides. These tanks haven't been fed, guys, right? So just bear that in mind when you look at them, the activity of the shrimp. They haven't been fed. But it is looking gorgeous, isn't it, this tank? This gets a 10% water change. All my bee shrimp tanks get a 10% water change once a week with salt and mineral, GH+, and as you guys know, I've been using peat to soften the water, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of benefits to it. Loads and loads of benefits to it. But there you go guys, that is my shrimp room tour for May 2022. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have, then please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Thank you for watching. Happy shrimp keeping.